don't know about you and your house, but as for me and mine, we would never, ever, ever sign a 50-year mortgage on 50 years. I'm not signing anything for 50 years. Anything. 50-year mortgage loan. Are we crazy? Is everybody okay? No, nobody is okay. What are we doing? 50 years is asinine. And if you sign up for it, you are a dummy. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You are dumb. Just real quick before you come in my comments talking about, oh, that makes sense for me because blah, 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 blah. Listen to this. $350,000. The average interest rate is about 6% right now. $350,000 or a 50-year loan, you're going to be paying $1 million, over $1 million on the home. Does that make, in interest alone, you'll be paying $800,000. Does that make sense to you? You won't even have 10 to 20% of ownership on your home for the first 15 to 20 years because all you would have been paying for those first few years is interest. You're not gonna see no equity in your home.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. Like, I think people don't realize that, like, your first 10 years of your mortgage, like, you're just paying interest. And that's a 30-year. So a 50-year mortgage, you're not even touching ownership. And that, like, I'll be honest, like, I really was confused to why he would even release that. Like I said, I don't like to get too much into politics because I'm not a political person, but at this point in time, I just feel like he is trying to, like, find something. I think he's just trying to find a win at this point in time, like a short-term, like, solution. And I get it because the market really is bad and you want to make a win, but, like, I don't know, this just isn't it. Like, 50-year mortgage is terrible. It's like what they're doing with the car loans now, like 75 months. Like, what in the world?
Yeah, well, I get the idea behind it. A lot of people, they make decisions off of their payment. It's only now that people are starting to pay attention to the overall cost of the loan.
Yeah.
They're not, before it was like, okay, well, how much can I afford? Like you said, with car loans, the person selling you the car is going to try to get the sale. So they're like, oh, well, we can make this work for you. What can you afford? And they're going to try to manipulate the loan to make it to where you can afford the monthly payment.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you about how much interest you're going to pay because of how long the loan term is.
Exactly.
Same with the house.
Oh, guess what? The president has a really good idea for you. He's going to give you a 50-year mortgage. Yeah, that'll make things so much more affordable. Think of all the houses you could buy with a 50-year mortgage. Does this make sense to anybody? I mean, truly, does this make sense to anyone? A 50-year mortgage. The average person right now is a first-time home buyer at 40. So yeah, that means you're going to be paying from 40 till you're 90. Yeah, why don't you just call yourself a renter and be done with it? A 50-year mortgage is, you're just a renter. And think about the first 10 years of that mortgage, yeah, very little, if any, would be going towards the principal. So for 10 years, you would just be paying rent, interest. That's it. You'd be just a renter. And considering the average person only has a house for 7 years, you would just be a renter.
He just stole all my thunder. He stole all I was going to say. Shout out to this guy, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I already have a feeling that we're going to be in agreement on this.
Yeah.
People we watch are going to be in agreement on this. So I was going to try to take the flip side of the story, which is, to be honest with you, most people that own homes these days, even with 30-year mortgages, are effectively renters. Why do I say that? Because like he just said, people move. He said 7 years. I think the average is actually shorter than that.
You think it's shorter than 7 years?
Not that I think. I'm pretty sure it is. I think the average is, it's between 3 to 7 years is the average length of time someone stays in their house.
That's crazy. 3 years. Crazy. 3 years is absurd.
It's absurd because they don't realize that when they move, they start the amortization all over again.
Ooh.
Not to mention when they move, they have selling costs. So effectively, you're in a worse position by owning a home for 3 to 5 years and moving over and over than you are just renting.
Yeah.
And so now if you're talking about a 50-year mortgage, it just makes the whole thing even more ridiculous. So I think he's spot on with that. So what I was going to say, the opposite opinion I was going to say is, while this is a bit absurd to have a 50-year mortgage.
Crazy. Like I almost thought it was a joke because I'm like, who are your financial advisors? Like who gave you this option and said that this was a good idea? Like it's just so, it kind of goes over my head. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to have like the best financial advisors. Like who's like a 50-year mortgage?
Well, here's the thing. If you're someone who is able to afford to put a down payment on a house and get a house when you're in your late 20s, early to mid 30s,
yeah,
and you know for a fact, this is play this out. You know for a fact you are not going to sell that house. Maybe you move, but you're not going to sell, and hopefully you don't move, and you live in that house for 50 years. Yeah, 50-year mortgage might be better than renting. I'm just saying, because the first 10, 15 years you're paying just interest anyways, mostly. Okay, you would have been renting anyways. The money's gone. It wouldn't go on to rent. It went to interest. Okay. After that, at least you're building principal or equity. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm saying if you stay in the house for 50 years, you buy it at 25. It's paid off at 65. Hey, that's almost retirement age. Now you retire, your home is paid off. You avoided, you don't, because if you just rent for 50 years, once you're 65, you're still paying rent. And by the way, the rent's gonna get more expensive each year. So I'm just saying that while this is a silly overall, I can see how in very select circumstances it could work.
The only way I could possibly see in this working is like, let's say you had a whole bunch of siblings, or you had a big family, you all lived on one house, you all chipped in. This was like a house you're buying for your mom or like your family. So this is meant to be like a generational house.
Sure.
And then you guys each chipped in a little bit. I could see that working, but is that the average American? Absolutely not.
Well, listen, that's a good idea too. No, that's a good. See, I think my idea is a way that would work. I think your idea is the way that would work. Are they common?
No.
Because we know most people are going to leave within 3 to 5 years or 7 years. So anyway,
and that might even be worse by the time that gets approved.
the 50-year mortgage?
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Actually, it might happen.
But that's one of those things, like, I wouldn't even want to say that out loud.
You should have a 50-year mortgage?
Yeah, like that idea, like, you know it's bad when people that don't know anything are like, that's terrible. I don't know anybody who saw this and was like, you know what, that's great. You might have to literally be one of those people who walk around with a tin hat to think that this is great.
If any one of my clients came to me and said that they're going to use the 50-year mortgage, I'm not putting my name on that, and I'm walking away from you. That is the most, you might as well just throw your money away in that situation. The 10-year difference on that and just interest alone and equity wouldn't add up. You know, the same amount of time in 10 years that you get a property on a 50-year mortgage versus a 30-year. I mean, you're looking at a difference of, you know, having $15,000 versus 40. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, this problem that we have here is a lot deeper than the lending. Only people that are smiling and happy at this, that if people bite on it, are the banks, because they're going to make a ridiculous amount of money on people that are not going to have the people in their corner or hired for them to tell them that this is not a good idea. There's nothing about this is good. Nothing about that makes any sense. Nobody can sit there and have a logical conversation with me and say that that makes sense in any way, shape, or form. There's no property on this continent that is worth that. 50-year mortgage? No. God, no. Like, and it's just like, it just gets worse. Like, people just add to the flame of just dumb stuff that we just bring up instead of actually addressing the issues that are plaguing this economy and this market. Like, this is why I'm a big component of putting people that are actually in the field in charge of this stuff. Do not have some person that went to college, never went and did anything in terms of real estate, try to make decisions in this matter. But then again, who am I? You know, we know that the reason why they're bringing this stuff up is just for them to make more money. They know that people have caught on to the idea that they don't want you to own anything. They already understand that. So now they're transitioning to basically predatory lending tactics again to get people to basically willingly give up their freedoms of potentially owning something. Because I mean, it's bad alone that you have to pay off something and then still pay taxes on it. But then to add a 50-year mortgage on top of that, to only take off like, what, $100, $200 from your fucking mortgage? That's stupid. Come on, people. Shut that down right away.
What do you think about the idea of putting people in charge to actually, like, understand economics?
Yeah, I thought that was supposed to happen anyways. I thought that was the idea of, like, you build your cabinet with people who know what the hell they're talking about and who actually walk the walk. I get this thing, like, those who can do and those who can't teach. You heard of that? And so a lot of times you have people that are in positions that they couldn't do, so they teach. And I understand it. People that can do it out there doing it.
Yeah.
But that's why it's like, I think he has a good point there. If you know else too, I think sometimes things are just so big and cumbersome that it's just difficult to do the right thing. Because it would just take too long and be too painful.
Yeah.
Like, for example, during this government shutdown, they were trying to introduce legislation to, I forget exactly what it was called, but in a nutshell, I believe it was to like approve, because the government was shut down, they couldn't pass the bill. They were trying to introduce new legislation to temporarily pay someone or something like that, which would just mean legislation on top of other legislation on top of other legislation. It's like, it just becomes too crazy.
I think the thing is that everyone's trying to put these quick patches into a wall instead of just fixing the freaking wall.
Right.
Because everyone knows that it's going to take too long to fix the wall. It's not going to happen in 4 years. It's going to take at least 15 years to fix the wall. But they just keep poking and pasting stuff that keeps falling out. You just got to fix it. And then there is no quick solution. I think that's what people want, is that people want a quick solution to a problem that's taken years to build up. It's kind of like when someone who's like really like overweight and then they're like, well, I want to lose all this weight within like 2 months.
Right.
It's like, well, you spent how many years getting to that weight?
Yeah.
It's going to take some time to get it down. Like, it's not going to happen in 1 month. It might not even happen in 1 year.
Yeah. You know, you spot on. So there's a guy, Paul Volcker. I just pulled him up because I want to make sure I got his name right. I had it right. It's Paul Volcker. And he was he passed away at this point, but he was an economist and a former chair of the Federal Reserve. And I think one of his biggest claims to fame is that he raised interest rates to a very high level, I think during the 80s.
Yeah.
Because inflation was out of control.
Yeah.
And during the time, people hated him for it.
Yeah.
Because it was painful as hell to have all this high inflation. But now that we have hindsight, he's praised for it because he saved the economy essentially.
Yeah.
So what happens is a lot of people come into power, right? And they don't want to have a black mark on their presidency or on their term in office. So instead of actually doing what they probably know they should do to fix the underlying issues, which is going to cause pain for us, everybody, us included, but to get to a better result, they do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Make 50-year mortgages, which is not solving the problem.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? They introduce legislation that makes things worse.
Terrible.
And it's easy for me to sit here and say that now. So hopefully you would think that we would be able to vote people in office who have our best interests in mind, even if that means putting us through some pain, some pain that we need to go through.
Yeah.
To have, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna suck, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what people said. Like, people said that we were supposed to be in a serious recession, and then they said that we keep going like this,
pushing down the road,
and then we're in this like steady state of pain.
Yeah, fact.
We're in a steady state of pain where it's like, oh, pain, pain. Where it's just like, if we just, we're in pain, we gotta sit down for a couple months, we gotta heal our leg up. Yeah. After that, we're gonna shake it off, we're gonna be good. People just don't want it to happen. They're just like, all right, well, you know what, your knee's just gonna be a little messed up instead of just going for surgery. You need to go for surgery.
Yeah, it's like American healthcare system versus some healthcare system in some other countries. It's like we're great at focusing on healing acute conditions.
Yeah.
But when it comes to chronic conditions, we're not good at it. And what we're going through right now from an economic standpoint is a chronic condition.
Oh yeah.
And all they do is just like throwing medicine at you. Eases the pain a bit, but the underlying condition is still there.
Does absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, homes are unaffordable right now. People want homes and they can't afford them. So what do? Oh well, let's make a 50-year mortgage so the payment is $200 less. So maybe you can afford on paper the home. No, that's not what needs to happen. That's not what needs to happen. What needs to happen? I don't know. It's above my pay grade. So
I think I know what needs to. We need to go crash. Boom. Boom.
But aside from 08, 09, I don't think there's ever a time in history, like in modern history or whatever, where real estate has really crashed. So I'm not sure what. Okay. Sorry, I'm having all these thoughts in my head, guys. Just so you know, so you gonna keep looking at me like I'm crazy.
He's not talking to himself. At least not yet.
I was trying to think of like how we could bring home prices down.
That's after the recession.
This so-called recession. We're definitely in a recession.
Oh, I've been thought of that. I thought we were in a recession since 2022.
I don't know what's going on. We're in something. It's some weird thing. But let me not go down that road. It's gonna bore you guys. Well, anything else you want to say about this?
Ultimately, please don't do it. If you do end up doing, please get your head checked.
Okay.
That's it. You're gonna say good decision, bad decision. I think bad, but you might like 50-year loans.
Nah, I think it's a bad decision. If you can't afford a home with a 30-year mortgage, then don't get it. That's simple. Don't do it. Rent, live with family, live with friends, rent out a room, move an hour away from work and commute. Even though it sucks. Do what you have to do, but don't get a 50-year mortgage. Don't do that.
All right, decision makers. If you think a 50-year mortgage is a good idea, go to the leave a like, leave a comment. If you think it's a bad idea, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, decision makers, don't get a 50-year.